Hello everyone, this is the chapter 3 of level 2. थोड़ा डिले हुआ है पोस्ट करने में, काफी बड़ा चैप्टर है ये क्योंकि इसमें दो किंगडम एक साथ लिए गए हैं, किंगडम प्लांटी एंड एनिमेलिया. In the previous lessons, you have learnt about the basic aspect of classifying organisms and about the three lower kingdom, Monera, Protista and Fungi. ये तीन चीजें हम पढ़ चुके हैं. तीनों में डिफरेंस आप समझ गए होंगे जब क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए होंगे. But in this lesson, you will study about the remaining two kingdoms, Plantae and Animalia. Plant में eukaryotic, multicellular and autotrophic, and in animal kingdom, eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. So these are the things in this lesson you will be able to understand. Give the basic of inclusion of certain organisms in kingdom Plantae. Classify kingdom Plantae up to divisions. Give the typical characteristics of algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte and spermatophyta. Classify the division spermatophyta up to classes gymnosperm and angiosperm. जैसे नाम से मालूम पड़ रहा है स्पर्मेटोफाइटा यानी कि इसमें सीड का फॉर्मेशन होता है. Give the typical features of dicot families such as Malvaceae and Fabaceae. Give the typical features of the monocot families such as Liliaceae and Poaceae. Justify the inclusion of certain organisms in kingdom Animalia. Classify kingdom Animalia up to phyla. Give the characteristics of various animal phyla with examples. Classify Arthropoda and Chordata up to classes with examples. Classify Mammalia up to major order with examples. So main division of kingdom Plantae, plants. Both plant and animal kingdom include a wide variety which contribute towards the biodiversity on planet Earth. We shall now learn the classification of plants and animals. Plants are multicellular, eukaryotic, photosynthetic, autotroph, having cellulosic cell wall. All are embryophytes. Plantae are classified as follows: bryophyte, pteridophyte, spermatophyta. In bryophyte, amphibians of plant kingdom, non-vascular. Amphibia means जो दोनों जगह रहते हैं, जमीन पर भी और पानी पर भी. So like frog, so these are also known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Pteridophyte, true root, stem and leaves are present and vascular tissue is also present. And spermatophyta, it means seed producing vascular tissue is present. So spermatophyta are further divided into gymnosperm and angiosperm. Gymnosperm, naked seeded plants, seed not enclosed in ovary. In angiosperm, seeds enclosed in ovary wall are divided into dicot and monocot. Dicot means embryo with two cotyledons and monocot, single cotyledon is found in the embryo. Bryophyte. Bryophytes are amphibians of plant kingdom as they complete their life cycle in both water and on land. You know that S.R. Kashyap, he is the father of bryophytes. They mainly grow in damp, shady places. They are embryophytes that do not have vascular tissue, neither xylem nor phloem, no true leaves and roots. Sex organs are always surrounded by one or several layers of sterile cells. There are three main types of bryophytes: flat, ribbon-like, liverworts, Markensia, small leafy like Mosses funaria, and flat thalloid like Anthoceros or hornworts. This is the structure of Markensia and funaria. Left one is Markensia and right one is funaria. So the main plant body of bryophyte is gametophyte, larger and more persistent and photosynthetically active, which bears the sex organs. In mosses, the gametophytic plant body is leafy, stem called gametophore, but in liverworts and hornworts, plant body is usually a thallus, that is ribbon-like or heart-shaped and bilaterally symmetrical. The body is without roots, stem and leaves. The plants are anchored to soil by rhizoids, unicellular in liverworts and hornworts, and multicellular in mosses. Rhizoids act as anchorage and also help in absorption of water from the substratum. तो rhizoid का काम वो सेम है जो काम रूट्स का है. The male sex organs are antheridia and female sex organs are archegonia. The gametes are produced in the sex organs. Male and female gametes fuse to give rise to a zygote which develops into a sporophyte. Sporophyte remains attached to gametophyte and depends on it for food and minerals. Sporogenous tissue in the sporophyte undergoes meiosis to produce haploid spores. The spores germinate to give rise to a gametophyte again. Gametophyte undergoes mitosis. Gametes producing phase of plant sporophyte and undergoes meiosis, spore producing phase of plants. दोनों आपको याद रखने हैं, mitosis and meiosis. In all three types of bryophytes, the life cycle shows alternation of generation. यानी एक जनरेशन के बाद दूसरी जनरेशन का आना. पहले गेमेटोफाइट, फिर स्पोरोफाइट, अगेन गेमेटोफाइट, अगेन स्पोरोफाइट. This is also known as alternation of generation. The difference between gametophyte and sporophyte: in gametophyte, haploid phase, it has sex organs, produces gametes. Gametes are produced by mitosis and dominate phase occupied most of the life period. In sporophyte, this is a diploid phase, has spore producing structures, produces spores. Spores are produced by meiosis, short-lived phase. The bryophytes are pioneer of vegetation. क्योंकि इससे पहले सब कुछ पानी में था, एल्गी फंजाई हम देख चुके हैं. तो जब जमीन पर शुरुआत हुई लैंड के ऊपर, ब्रायोफाइट से स्टार्टिंग हुई. सो दीज आर द पायोनियर्स ऑफ वेजिटेशन. दे आर द फर्स्ट वन टू ग्रो ऑन वेरियस हैबिटेट लाइक रॉक, लावा, सैंड, वाटर एटसेट्रा and act as soil binders. The mosses hold water better than the soil, thus improve the microhabitat for seeds of other plants to grow. They are the source of food for fish and birds and for nesting materials for birds. Pteridophytes. Ferns are lower vascular plants. They contain vascular tissues. Vascular tissue is made up of xylem and phloem, which helps in conduction of water and nutrients to all parts of the plant body. Number 2, pteridophytes are usually found in damp, shady places or in gardens on the hills where temperature is low. The main plant body represents a sporophytic generation and has roots which penetrate the soil and absorb water. The leaves, जो leaves हैं इसकी इसको front भी बोलते हैं, fronts of sporophyte grow on thick horizontal underground stem or rhizome which bears adventitious roots. The young leaves and the base of fronds are covered by dry brown scale ramenta. The young leaves show characteristic tightly coiled structure. You can see in the next figure. The axis of the leaf is called rachis and leaflet on both sides of rachis are called pinnae. The division of pinna are known as pinnules. On the undersurface of the leaves develop spore producing bodies called sporangia. The sporogenous tissue in the sporangia undergoes meiosis to produce haploid spores. The spores germinate into an independent small thallus-like body, the gametophyte called prothallus. The prothallus bears antheridia and archegonia, which produce male gamete and female gametes. The gametes fuse and zygote develop into a diploid sporophyte. The young embryo absorbs nutrients from the gametophyte until its roots and leaves are formed. The gametophyte then dies. Gametophyte grows. Gametophyte grows independent of sporophyte and it lives for a short period of time. But a new sporophyte is temporarily dependent upon a tiny gametophyte. ये कुछ टाइम के लिए gametophyte पे डिपेंड रहता है. This is the structure of fern, root and rhizomes. Next is gymnosperm. Together with flowering plants, angiosperms, the gymnosperms from the group Spermatophyta. Sperma means seeds and phyta means plant. It means seed producing plant. These are called gymnosperms. The gymnosperm bear naked ovules on flat scale leaves called ovuliferous scales. ध्यान रखिएगा, क्वेश्चन आता है एग्जाम में, व्हाट आर ovuliferous scales? So flat scale leaves, not enclosed in carpels. The ovuliferous scales are arranged in cones. Next, characteristic features of gymnosperm. The adult plant, इसको हम बोलते हैं स्पोरोफाइट, is tall, woody, perennial, tree or shrub, mostly evergreen. The stem is usually branched but rarely unbranched as in cycas. Leaves may be simple as in pinus or compound as in cycas. Leaves may be dimorphic or of one kind only. Foliage leaves are large green, pinnately compound, needle-like and grow on dwarf shoot as in pinus and not on the main trunk as in a cycas. Scale leaves are brown and simple. Next, vascular bundles in stem are arranged in a ring and show secondary growth. Gymnosperm bears cone which are usually unisexual, either male or female. You can see in the next figure. Pollen grains are haploid, produced in microsporangia of male cone. Each pollen grain has two large sacs to help in the dispersal. Pollen grains produce two male gametes. Ovules are not enclosed in ovary, as in angiosperms, but are borne naked on leafy megasporophylls of female cone. So the term gymnosperm or naked seeds for this group. Ovules are produced side by side, inside which female gamete or egg is produced. Male gamete fuses with female gamete in the ovule. The fertilized ovule then develop into a seed. Winged in case of pinus, अगर pinus है तो आपने देखा होगा उसके seeds में wings होंगे. Some common gymnosperms are pinus, sequoia, juniperus, cedrus. Many gymnosperm yield timber, resins, turpentine and many other products like the dry fruit chilgoza. This is the plant of gymnosperm. Next is angiosperms, a typical flowering plant. Our most familiar plant like pea, mango, coconut, wheat and rice come under the group called angiosperms. Their seeds are always enclosed in the fruit. A fruit is a mature ovary. Look at an angiosperm plant in next figure. Leaf, stem, roots. The angiosperm are divided into two groups or classes, dicot and monocot. Look at figure to study difference between the two groups. Angiosperm bear seeds enclosed in fruits. Dicot plants have two cotyledon in seeds, whereas monocots have only one cotyledon within seed. Difference between angiosperm and gymnosperm. Gymno and angio. Gymno means naked, so seeds are naked as not enclosed in ovary. In angio, seeds are enclosed in fruit. Next is bears cone where spores are developed, but in angio, bears flower where reproductive structures are found. In gymno, xylem vessels are absent, but in angiosperm, xylem has both vessels as well as tracheids. मोनोकोट एंड डाइकोट दोनों में आपको डिफरेंस देख सकते हैं, रूट में और स्टेम में. अगर रूट है, मोनोकोट की रूट आप देखिए ध्यान से और डाइकोट की रूट देखिए वेस्कुलर बंडल्स की पोजीशन पर, फिर इनमें आप डिफरेंस कीजिए दोनों में कि आप कैसे पहचान सकते हैं डाइकोट है या मोनोकोट है. रूट में वेस्कुलर बंडल्स आप दिखाई दे रहे, जाइलम और फ्लोएम अलग अलग पैचेस पर हैं. दूसरी चीज आप स्टेम में डिफरेंस देखें, मोनोकॉट का जो स्टेम है इसमें जो वेस्कुलर बंडल्स हैं वो सब स्कैटर्ड हैं, फैले हुए, पर डाइकॉट का जो इसका स्टेम है इसमें जो वेस्कुलर बंडल्स हैं दीज आर अरेंज्ड इन अ रिंग, एक पूरा रिंग बना हुआ है. इसी तरह से लीफ है, अगर मोनोकॉट है तो पैरेलल वेनेशन, अगर डाइकॉट है तो रेटिकुलेट वेनेशन. लाइक दिस फ्लावर, पेरियन, सेपल, स्टेमन, पेंटामेरस. सीड, अगर मोनोकॉट है तो वन कॉटिलीडन, if dicot, two cotyledons. Some families of angiosperms. Angiosperms include the most diverse and widespread members of the kingdom Plantae. Flowers offer a large number of characters which are constant, and so they are used for grouping of angiosperms into different families. Within each family are included plants which show similarities in organization of various parts of the flower. We shall study only only 4 families, 2 dicot and 2 monocot. Fabaceae P family include all the pulses. Malvaceae China rose family जिसमें गुड़हल का फूल आता है जानते हैं. Liliaceae lily family. Poaceae grass family including cereals. जिसको पहले ग्रामीणी कहते थे, राइट नाउ उसके एंड में एसी नहीं आ रहा था तो नाम चेंज किया गया इसका, तो ग्रामीणी को पोएसी में कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया. नेक्स्ट इज फेबेसी, अ डाइकॉट फैमिली. द प्लांट्स आर हर्ब्स और shrubs. Flowers are zygomorphic, means it cannot be cut into 2 equal halves. Bisexual, complete. Calyx consists of 5 sepals joint. Corolla consists of 5 petals. Polypetalous. Polypetalous means free. So papillonaceous in shape or butterfly in shape. There is a large petal called standard, 2 smaller ones called as wings, and 2 interior small ones more or less jointed forming the keel. Androecium consists of 10 stamens arranged in 2 bundles, 9+1 arrangement. That is diadelphous condition. You can see in the next figure. Gynoecium is superior, monocarpellary, unilocular with many ovules arranged on a marginal placenta. Fruit is a pod. This is the structure of family Malvaceae. Then some examples of useful plants of Fabaceae. Common name you can see on the left side and scientific name on the right side, like P. Pisum sativum, pigeon pea Cajanus kazan, green gram Phaseolus aureus, soybean Glycine max, lentil lens, groundnut Erectus hypogea, chickpea CSIR arientinum. Family Malvaceae. The plants may be herb, shrub or tree. Hibiscus rosa sinensis, China rose या shoe flower, is one of the best example of this family. Flowers are large and attractive, usually solitary axillary. Flowers are pentamerous. All bulbs are 5 or multiple of 5. Condition is actinomorphic. Apicalyx is present as an additional hole or bracteole just below the calyx. Calyx has 5 sepals, may be free or joint at the base. Corolla has 5 petals, usually free. Androecium consists of indefinite number of monoadelphous conditions. The lower parts are filamentous joined together to form staminal tube. Gynoecium consists of 5 carpels, syncarpus, syn means जुड़ा हुआ, jointed होंगे, carpus जो है, and ovary is superior, pentalocular, axile placenta, and fruit is a capsule. जो इसके examples हैं, भिंडी, hollyhock are other examples of this family. This is the structure of China rose. Next is Liliaceae. Liliaceae is the monocot family. The plants are mostly herb, usually perennial. The stem is rhizome or bulb-like. Leaves may be fleshy, colline. Colline means arising from the underground stem. Flowers are bisexual, actinomorphic, mostly trimerous. All the holes are either 3 units of multiple of 3 and hypogynous. Perianth is large, petaloid, corolla-like, usually 6 arranged in 2 holes of 3 each free or united. Stamens usually 6 in 2 holes situated opposite to perianth. Carpel 3 syncarpus ovary, superior axile placentation. Fruits usually a capsule. This is the structure of member of family Lily. Common name and botanical name like Grith Kumari aloe vera, Satavari asparagus, tulip Tulipa tulip, Shankpushpi gloriosa, lily Lilium, onion is Allium cepa. Next family is Poaceae. This is also a monocot family. The plants are herbs, rarely woody as in bamboo. Inflorescence spike of spikelet. A small spikelet may contain not more than 5 flowers. Flowers are very small, inconspicuous, with a scale-like structure. Stamens are 3, sometimes 6 as in rice and bamboo. Carpus unilocular, ovary superior, fruit is caryopsis, seed coat and ovary wall fused. Some examples of useful plants of poaceae: rice or Rhiza sativa, wheat Triticum aestivum, maize Gia maize, sugarcane Saccharum officinarum, bamboo Bambusa species, barley Hordeum vulgare. This is the structure of this family. Next, finished plant kingdom, started Animalia. Kingdom Animalia includes the animals which show a wide variety yet have some common features. So, few general features of kingdom Animalia: animals are multicellular eukaryotes. They have ingestive heterotrophic nutrition. They have the power of locomotion. They show increased sensitivity through nervous system. So, basis of classification of animals: organization, symmetry, body cavity, number of embryonic cell layers, and presence of absence of notochord are the features used for distinguishing broad categories of animals. Organization: bodies of animals are multicellular, but cells may or may not be organized into tissue and organ systems. Animals such as sponges are aggregates of cells. They are at cellular level of organization. Cnidarians have group of cells performing specialized functions. They are at tissue level of organization. All other animals have organs and systems for performing body functions. They are at organ system grade. So, symmetry means dividing the body into equal and identical parts. Sponges are asymmetrical. Cnidaria and echinoderm larvae are radially symmetrical. All other animals are bilaterally symmetrical. Next is body cavity or coelom, is a cavity between body wall and food wall. It is not present in acoelomate and present in eucoelomate. Pseudocoelom is not a true body cavity. It is found in roundworms. Next is embryonic layer. 3 layers of cells: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. In the embryo, germinal layer give rise to parts of the body of animals. Sponges and Cnidaria do not have mesoderm in their embryos. They have 2 germinal layers, ectoderm and endoderm. Diploblastic. Other have 3 germinal layers, triploblastic. Notochord. It is a solid rod found in embryonic stage or adult of some animals which are grouped as phylum Chordata. All animals group lacking notochord are termed as non-chordates. So, major phyla included in kingdom Animalia: phyla Porifera include sponges. Main characters: body with many pores, canals or chambers through which water flows called the canal system. Large aperture called osculum at the upper end. Body encloses a large cavity, spongiocele. No organs, movable part or appendages. Different kinds of cells perform different functions, usually with an internal skeleton of, calcareous or siliceous spicules or of spongian fibers or both. Reproduction asexually by budding, also sexual. Almost all marine. This is the structure: osculum and ostia, you can see in the figure. Next is Cnidaria, includes hydroids, jellyfishes, sea anemone, corals. Main characters are body with no head and no segmentation, body wall 2-layered, external epidermis and inner gastrodermis, jelly-like non-cellular, mesoglea in between, cnidoblasts, stinging cells present, help in catch prey, carnivorous, skeleton calcareous, horny or none, asexual reproduction by budding in the sessile stage, and sexual reproduction in free swimming stage. Radial sea, all marine except hydra found in fresh water, either fixed like hydra, sea anemone and corals, or free floating like the jellyfish. This is the structure. Next one is phylum Platyhelminthes. These are also called flatworms. Main characters: elongated, soft bodies, dorsiventrally flattened worms without true segmentation, no body cavity, suckers or hooks or both for attachment to the body of the host. Sexes usually united, mostly sexual reproduction with asexual reproduction in some. Alimentary canal has only one opening, the mouth. In some forms, tapeworm-like, there is no alimentary canal at all. A few are free-living but mostly parasites. Examples: planaria. Fasciola is a parasite of sheep liver. Tinea solium is a parasite of human intestine. This is the structure of members of Platyhelminthes. So, phylum Aschelhelminthes. This is class is Nematoda. These are called roundworms. Main characters: elongated, cylindrical, round body. Body cavity is a pseudocoelom, false body cavity. Alimentary canal opens at the two ends, mouth and anus. Sexes separate. Males are smaller than females. You can see in the next figure. Mostly parasitic in animals, but some live freely in the soil. Ascaris is a common roundworm, parasitic in the intestine of humans. Pinworm and Wuchereria are some other examples. Male and female. You can see the difference between this diagram. Phylum Annelida includes earthworm. Main characters are elongated, segmented, coelomate. Coelomate means true body cavity is present. Worm-like animals. Body provided with seta or parapodia for locomotion. Well-developed digestive system with the alimentary canal open at both ends. Excretory organs called nephridia. Sex is united as in earthworm or separate as in nereis. Regeneration quite frequent. Aquatic, some terrestrial animals, some living in tubes and some even parasitic. Examples: nereis, earthworm like Pheritema posthuma, free living in soil. Hydrodenaria, leech, parasite on cattle. You can see in the figure. Then phylum Arthropoda includes crabs, scorpion, insect, spider, etc. Arthropoda, this is the biggest kingdom. Main characters: segmented body, can be differentiated into head, thorax and abdomen. Head and thorax often fused to form cephalothorax. Jointed legs for locomotion, one pair each on some or all body segments. Exoskeleton of chitinous cuticle shed at intervals. Sex is usually separate. So these are arthropods are further divided into classes: Crustacea, Myriapoda, Insecta, Arachnida. So classification in next slide. This is the classification and you can compare to take a screenshot of the slide. Then what is the difference between these four classes: Arachnida, Crustacea, Myriapoda and Insecta. This is the structure of the member of these classes. Phylum Mollusca includes conchs, snails, etc. These animals have a soft, unsegmented body with a hard calcareous shell to protect the soft body with a hard shell. To protect the soft body. They have a muscular foot to help locomotion and also to act as a weapon in some cases. Examples: snails, slugs, oysters, mussels, clams, squids and octopus. Main characters: unsegmented soft body animal, terrestrial or aquatic. Exoskeleton in the form of a shell. When present, shell is usually unveiled or bivalved. Internal shell in some, sexes separate or united, have a muscular foot for locomotion. This is the structure of members of phylum Echinodermata. Includes starfishes, little stars, sea urchins, sea cucumbers. Main characters: marine animals with unsegmented body, head absent, body surface marked with 5 radiating areas, radial symmetry, endoskeleton of dermal, calcareous ossicles with spines, movement of 2 feet, sexes usually separate, regeneration of lost parts a peculiarity. Adults are radially symmetrical, but the larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. Starfish, you can see in the diagram. Next is phylum Chordata. So, notochord is present at some stage of life, in most cases replaced by backbone. Dorsal tubular nerve cord, gill slits present at some stage of life, larval stage or adult, body with the head and trunk, 2 parts of appendages. Classification of phylum Chordata, here you can see यूरोकॉर्डेटा, सेफोलोकॉर्डेटा एंड वर्टिब्रेटा. इस तरह से 3 हिस्सों में इसको डिवाइड किया गया है. दिस इज द डायग्राम नंबर क्लास and the superclasses. The 2 classes of fish includes the cartilaginous and bony fish. Fishes are aquatic animals, gill breathing and move with the help of scales. Class 1 chondric fish. So, mouth ventral, tail heterocell, skeleton cartilaginous, 5 to 7 pairs of gills and operculum is absent. Structure. Next is osteichthyes. So, mouth terminal, tail homocell. You can compare with them with the next table after it found. Next is amphibians. Partly live in water and partly on land. दोनों जगह रहते हैं. तो amphibians है like frog. Skin is smooth or rough, rich in glands. 2 pairs of limbs. Pentadactyl, it means 5 fingered. Digits without claws. Body with distinct head and trunk, no neck. 2 nostrils opening into buccal cavity. Tympanum present on surface of body wall. Eggs are laid in water. In early stage of life, it means larval stage, they breathe by means of gills, but adult breathe by lungs. So, heart is 3-chambered, larval stage tailed and aquatic. This is the structure. Example salamander and some others are tailless. Example salamander, Proteus and Rana tigrina. Next is reptilia. Class reptilia are 4-legged or legless crawling animals whose body is covered in 2 scales. They lay egg on land. Characteristics: terrestrial, it means lives on the land, or some are aquatic. Body covered with horny scales, skin is dry. Paired pentadactyl limbs with clawed digits. Tympanum small and depressed. Respiration by lungs. Heart 3-chambered but with a partially divided ventricle. Their eggs have leathery shell. Example: tortoise, turtles, garden lizard, wall lizard, cobra and crocodile and ghadial also. You can see the structure. Next is aves, warm-blooded, homeothermal, also called endothermal. Body temperature remains constant. Body covered with feathers. Scales are present only on hind limbs. Body is divisible into 3 parts: head, neck and trunk. Jaws with horny beak, no teeth. Hind limbs with 4 digits, adapted for perching, walking or swimming. Bones with air spaces to make the skeleton light. Pneumatic bones. 4 limbs modified into wings for light. Heart is 4-chambered. Lungs for respiration connected with air sacs. Voice box or syrinx present at the junction of trachea and bronchi. Only left ovary and oviduct present in the females. Economy in body weight. All Oviparous means who lays eggs, egg with much yolk and calcareous shell. This is the structure. Next is Mammalia. Body covered with hair, presence of milk, it means mammary glands, sweat and oil glands present in the skin. Body divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Tail absent in some, projecting external ear, pinna present. Digits usually ending in claws, nails or hoofs. Definition: thecodont. Thecodont means teeth in sockets of jaw bones, and generally heterodont. 4 different types, 7 neck vertebrae, homeothermal, warm-blooded and heart 4-chambered. Testes are extra-abdominal, not within abdominal cavity, contained in scrotal sacs, viviparous, give birth to the young. Some primitive mammals are oviparous, lays eggs. Fetus is nourished by mother through placenta. This is the difference between prototheria, metatheria and eutheria. Please take a screenshot and you can compare them. Structure. So, birds and mammals have a constant body temperature. They are termed as homeothermal. Subclass Eutheria has been divided into number of orders. Some important ones are as follows: Rodenta, herbivorous and terrestrial, incisors long, sharp and chisel shaped, forelimbs shorter than the hind limbs, example rat, squirrel, etc. Then Chiroptera, these are flying mammals, forelimbs adapted for flight, skin fold, patagium works as wing, hind limbs thin and short, nocturnal. Bats have poor eyesight, they avoid cooling against object by echolocation, in which the bat emits supersonic waves which are reflected back from the object, and the bat can perceive the reflected waves to determine the position of the object. The method is very similar to radar. This is the structure of Carnivora, flesh-eating mammals, large pointed and sharp canines to tear the flesh, fingers with sharp claws, example lion, tiger, cat, dog, etc. Primates, highly developed brain, eyes are set forward in the dead to provide binocular depth perception vision. The neck is mobile, limbs have 5 digits with flat nails. The thumb of the hand and the greater toe of the feet are opposable, grasping. 2 thoracic mammal, breast present. Example, monkey, apes, man, you can see the figure. Next, Cetacea, aquatic, 4 limbs are changed into pedals, no neck, fish-like shape but respiration by lungs. Neck, Proboscidea, large herbivores, terrestrial, fusion of upper lip and nose to form a long mobile trunk. Only one pair of inserts in upper jaw which form huge tusks in males. Next, Ungulata, hoofed mammals, herbivorous, usually domesticated by men. Mammae are abdominal with teats. In this chapter, what you have learnt, go through. Animals are multicellular eukaryotes with heterotrophic. This is the summary of this whole PPT. समझ में आ रहा है? चैप्टर लंबा है. So animals are multicellular eukaryotes with heterotrophic nutrition, locomotion and sensitivity through nervous system. They may be at cellular grade or organization, phylum Porifera, tissue grade, phylum Cnidaria, or organ grade of organization, other animal phyla. Their body may be asymmetrical like Porifera, radially symmetrical Cnidaria, or bilaterally symmetrical other animal phyla. Kingdom Animalia is divided into 2 groups, non-chordates and chordates. Non-chordates are included in 3 subphyla, Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Vertebrata has superclasses Agnatha and Gnathostomata. And Gnathostomata includes 6 classes, and Porifera are characterized by ostia, osculum, spongiocele and canal system. Cnidaria have nidoblast, coelentron and polyp and medusa. Platyhelminthes include some free living but mostly parasites like tapeworm and liver fluke. Class nematode of phylum Escalminthes include roundworms. Annelida shows metameric segmentation and have nephridia. Arthropods have jointed appendages and chitinous cuticle as their exoskeleton. Mollusca include soft bodies, animals covered by a calcareous shell. Echinodermata includes spiny skin marine animals which have tube feet for locomotion. Chordates have notochord, dorsal hollow nerve cord and gill slits at some stage of life. Amphibians live on land as well as in water. Their limbs have no claws. Reptilia have horny scales covering the body. They are mostly terrestrial. Class Aves includes birds, the flying vertebrates with 4 limbs modified into wings. Mammals possess hair and mammary glands which secrete milk to feed the young ones. Kingdom Plantae is classified into 2 divisions, bryophyte and tracheophyte. Bryophytes are amphibians of plant kingdom and are non-vascular. Main plant body of bryophyte is a gametophyte. Sporophyte remains attached to gametophyte. Main plant body of pteridophyte is a sporophyte. All groups of plants show alternation of generation. Gymnosperms and angiosperms are seed-producing plants. In gymnosperms, seeds are naked, whereas in angiosperms, seeds are enclosed in ovary. Main difference between dicot and monocot is number of dicotyledons. Brassicaceae and Fabaceae are dicot families, whereas Poaceae is a monocot family. So practice. These are the questions you have to solve in your notebook, and we will meet soon tomorrow again.